mean, sometimes I'll ask him a question, like, can you do this? Like, no, I don't want to. Why don't you want to do it? Because I'm my own person and I own my own body and I make my choices. And I think sometimes it's difficult to find the balance between raising these future humans and parenting sometimes, because I want him to be like that when he goes out into the world, but please just go and get in the bath and just do what I'm asking for 5 minutes. But I can see, you were saying about I can, where I'm arriving for him is like a flexi school kind of agreement, in terms of where we both have that nice balance where I personally think English and maths, having that understanding of numeracy and literacy is quite important, because it governs everything else. We wouldn't be able to do what we do if we weren't able to read literature and have that understanding of the reading comprehension and understanding what we're doing. So where he goes and he does English and maths, but then we go fishing, or we go and do more outdoorsy stuff that leans more towards his strengths, because compared to my daughter, he's not academic per se, he's not book smart, but that's not to say that his other skills and his areas and his talents can't be nurtured and cultivated.
Everything that we've talked about together, like how we navigate in this world, this program, this construct, how we're often not honoring ourselves as children. We have these programs that we are just following. And then when we're adults, we see where in childhood we weren't honoring ourselves, but we also often weren't given any choice. Somebody said, oh, I do like my typical morning yoga. Another person does something with crystals. Another person makes like a specific tea that they drink every morning, that they take their time for. And they're like, okay, we get to do this, but we get to do this because we made the choice to step out of that system. And yeah, you often get judged by others that are afraid in your place, that are like projecting their fear onto you, like, what are you doing? Oh no, why would you do that? And that there's no people that I've talked to before that were not into spirituality, they were not into any of this, and they are starting to have experiences that they cannot explain, and they're like, I cannot measure this with degrees, with like levels of expertise or whatever. Their system is failing them, like the system that they use to measure the experiences in their life as valuable or not valuable, it's not working. And they're looking for different things, because like I'm noticing that there's different people approaching me that a year ago were like, I never thought about dragon stuff, never thought about any of this, but there's like dragons coming into people's meditations. And they're like, I'm just some lady working at the bank. I don't know what's happening. Like, that's the kind of stuff that I'm noticing that is happening. And the people that were already on this path, their journey is becoming translating all of these high frequencies into something physical for those that don't have access yet to all of these high frequencies, I feel.
It's interesting times, isn't it? I think when you compare the conversations that we've had to our catch up, like just how in sync we are, it always makes me laugh, like when I'm so connected to someone, just how in sync we are in terms of our thoughts. And I think it's quite nice to know that I'm not the only rebel that's like, no, I just want to be a human, and I'll do it with an element of spirituality like weaved throughout what I'm doing. It's interesting times, isn't it? I think that's kind of the cusp of where I'm at with things. Like it's an interesting time to be alive and incarnated on earth as a human.